Volvo's new flagship, the 2024 EX90, is an all-electric luxury SUV. The electric car will be sold together with the XC90. This means that the electric car will not replace it, but will complement the model range of the Swedish crossover. If you want a petrol engine or a plug-in hybrid, then the XC90 is your choice. But if you prefer an electric car, then go for the EX90, which is the same size, more powerful and safer. The new EX90 has a sleek, minimalist look. Designers managed to achieve a balance between excesses and inexpressiveness. All corners on the body are straightened. The new SUV seems even more taut and strict than the previous model. The recognizable style of modern Volvos has been retained, while a flatter hood, a blank front fascia, a smooth bottom and recessed door handles have reduced the drag coefficient to 0.29. The appearance of the position headlights is the same as in current Volvo models. At first glance, the headlights are not visible. The headlights are located behind the marker lights. When turned on, the dimensions literally open up, dividing into two parts, and headlights appear. This opening is triggered every time as a greeting when the driver approaches the car. Engineers put a lot of effort into testing the handles recessed into the body. When someone comes to the door, the lighting starts. Door handles move out, and LEDs put emphasis not only on the handle, but also illuminate the space around the car. The handles have been winter tested and can pop out breaking ice. For the sake of aerodynamics, the hubcaps on the rims are almost flat. The inscription Volvo is originally placed on the spoke. The lining on the wheel arches, which are put on some crossovers for impressiveness and severity, is not here. Instead, small stampings were added on top, which visually increased the wheel arches. The front luggage compartment is equipped with a volume of 37 liters. The volume of the main rear trunk behind the third row of seats is 310 liters, or 655 liters with the third row folded down. If you add the second and third rows, then a compartment for 1,915 liters is formed. If you come to the store and decide to buy something big and you're not sure if it will fit in your car, then there is a small image in the EX90 that shows the dimensions of the rear rack. There's the width, height, and length of the trunk when the rear rows of seats are folded or open. In any case, if you open the tailgate, even with 3 rows of seats, there is enough free space for things, not counting the compartment under the floor. The rows of seats can be folded or raised by pressing the corresponding buttons in the trunk.
Don't forget to subscribe and like. Your rating is very important to us.
It's also worth noting that with the air suspension, you can raise or lower the rear of the car directly from the trunk if you need to put something heavy down. The rear of the car, too, did not become overloaded with details. The rear lights are designed in the form of the letter SI. Stop signals go around the back door like in modern Volvos. The part that rises to the roof is reminiscent of the vertical taillights of the Volvo station wagons of the 90s. Let's move to the salon. Judging by the latest Volvo models, you can be sure that the seat here will be very comfortable. The small tag with the Swedish flag immediately catches the eye. The Volvo EX90 is equipped with a Bowers & Wilkins audio system with 25 speakers, including those built into the front seat headrests. The second row is acceptably large. There is enough space even for large people. The second row seat can raise or fold the third row seat at the push of a button. The crossover is offered only with twin-engine all-wheel drive. In the basic version of the twin motor, the power of the front electric motor is 163 horsepower. Rear motor power 245 horsepower. The total return is 408 horsepower, with a torque of 770 Nm. A level higher is the twin motor performance modification, which has only the 272 horsepower front engine running at all times. The rear motor with a power of 245 horsepower has side clutches instead of a differential. By changing the degree of their blocking, the computer can control the thrust vector or completely disconnect the rear motor from the wheels. The maximum power is 517 horsepower, with 910 Nm torque. Top speed, like all Volvo cars, is limited to 180 km per hour. Acceleration time to 100 km per hour. The performance version is 4.9 seconds. The crossover can tow trailers weighing up to 2,200 kilograms. The Luminar LiDAR, which uses a laser, is standardly installed on the roof. With it, the autopilot will be able to recognize pedestrians at a distance of up to 250 meters in front of the car, and it will recognize a tire lying on the road 120 meters away. The complex includes 16 ultrasonic sensors, 8 cameras, and 5 radars. The LiDAR is packaged in a wide, flat glass case. Vehicle windshield wipers are used to wipe the LiDAR. Washers are integrated into the tips of the wipers. The basic package includes Pilot Assist Adaptive Cruise Control with advanced functionality. But as the software is updated, the Volvo EX90 will have a full-fledged autopilot. The 3-row interior is decorated in a minimalist style. As you can see, there are not many physical button controls or anything like that in the cabin. In fact, there is only one button in the center. The cascading front has a 15-inch portrait touchscreen, just like the old CX90. Here is a nice deflector for the entire length of the panel. Almost all functions are controlled through the central screen of the system. On the front panel is a compact instrument display, which also displays operational data on the operation of the autopilot. There are no analog buttons left, and even touch panels are located on the spokes of the steering wheel, and the right stalk is responsible for controlling the transmission. Lower to drive and raise to reverse. Parking button at the tip of the lever. The driver is immediately monitored by 2 cameras in the cabin. One is installed on the steering column, and the second is in the center of the front panel. Depending on the fatigue of the person behind the wheel, the electronics will determine the degree of intervention in driving. Volvo believes that the new safety systems will reduce the number of accidents by 20% compared to the XC90 model. The multimedia system is controlled by the Android Automotive OS operating system, which has extensive online capabilities with built-in Google services. There is a 5G transmitter and upgrade function. The car can constantly be in touch with the owner's gadgets and smart home. By the way, Volvo has a smartphone application with which you can lock the car without a key. The sensors on the ceiling are so sensitive that, in the absence of the driver, they catch the breath in the cabin, can recognize micro-movements, and if children or a pet are accidentally left there, the electric car will not only sound an alarm on the driver's smartphone, but also turn on climate control to maintain comfortable conditions. All versions of the new EX90 have 107 kWh lithium-ion batteries. The electric car can travel up to 585 km on a single charge. Batteries can be charged from 10 to 80% in just half an hour from a conventional charging station. Charging power is comparable to other luxury crossovers, but Volvo boasts bidirectional charging. It allows you to use the battery to charge other devices. This is not about a microwave or a juicer. Filling Volvo makes it possible to provide electricity to the whole house. This technology is still being tested, but it will allow the use of residual battery power to provide electricity to homes during peak consumption hours. And at night, when the tariff will be cheaper, it will be possible to recharge the batteries of the electric car. You can even share the charge with other electric vehicles. The electric car will go on sale later this year or early 2024, Volvo said. Volvo is already accepting pre-orders for the EX90, but the final price has not yet been announced. It is not yet possible to pay for it in full or choose a complete set. The starting cost of the basic configuration starts at $80,000. For example, preliminary prices in Germany start at €105,550. In the UK, from £96,255, about £13,000 more than the top-of-the-line CX90 plug-in hybrid. Do not rush to think that it is expensive. Look at the cost of competitors. The BMW X50 is about the same price, while the Mercedes EQS 450 crossover is almost £30,000 more expensive. The Volvo EX90 electric vehicles will be produced at 2 plants at once. Production will begin first at Volvo's US facility in 2023. Later, a Geely plant in China will be connected. Volvo plans to produce only electric vehicles by 2030. This means that the company will become the first automaker to completely switch to electricity.